Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trackside with Tom. I'm Tom Hogan, the owner and operator of Steel Highway Railcams and Steel Highway Magazine. And I have here with me today Evan Weber. Say hello, Evan.
Hi, everyone.
Friend of the program. Been on several times here. And we have, for his first time, we have Noah Bolte online. Noah, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Looks like we've got a lot to look forward to here today.
Yes, I know you were digging through the archives of what's gone by the cameras in the last 12 hours, so we'll definitely have some interesting material. We've got Manly pulled up right now, but I'm gonna spend just a few moments running down ATCS here to see what we've got. Oh, we're gonna have something coming up to Trempealeau very quickly here. Let's go ahead and switch right over to Trempealeau because there is a train going through East Winona, and it looks like we may have actually just missed something going by, going by westbound as well. We got a barge out here. Noah, do you want to talk about the barge that's going down the river at all? The tugboat?
Well, I can, assuming AIS is working up there, I can actually see what the name of it is here in a second. Let me see.
Yeah, so while he's looking that up, the Trempealeau Lock and Dam is actually just out of view to the left of the camera. We don't have it in the picture because that would also include the massive statue which blocks a lot of train activity. So, what do you have for us on the tugboat and the barge there, Noah, going west of the river?
Looks like we've got the Ashley Danielson that is heading to St. Paul at the moment. I can't tell what type of. I'm not looking at the camera right now, but let's see. That could be carrying just about anything, really. Grain, coal. What have you.
I think it's empty. Those barges look like they're very high up in the air.
That could be.
I think he's running back west empty, I would guess.
It is it's actually heading upbound, so yeah, you're right about that.
Upbound, upriver, upstream.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Well, we should have an eastbound here on the St. Croix sub any moment, according to the ATCS monitor. I'm going to dig into a couple of these other. Let's see here on the Sedalia sub. It looks to me like that it's, there is a westbound lined up at Dresden. He's lined up out of the siding at Smithton and over to Dresden. So, we may have a westbound coming up to Sedalia pretty soon as well. And what else have we got here? Check out the Dubuque sub on the CN.
If you want to look at something real quick, at 8:39, we have something a little bit new on 565.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about the Dubuque Junction South camera?
East Dubuque.
East Dubuque.
At
all right.
8:39. Yep.
Well, maybe we can pop over there after we take a gander at this eastbound BNSF train.
I am now pulling up my work schedule to see what I can make it up there.
That interesting, huh?
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Waterloo sub looks pretty dead on the CN. I'm not seeing anything particularly out there that's running around. I think that the local there at Iowa Falls may be on the circuit on the south side of the diamond, but that's really it right now.
Oh.
I was watching that yesterday after we went off the air. There was a road train that went by. It's the local that works back and forth between Mason City and Des Moines, and he went by Iowa Falls with an SD40N and I want to say a Jeep 38 or a Jeep 40.
All right.
And I didn't, of course, think to go back and actually capture the clip on it, but there is for those of you that are not familiar with the operation, there's a local that works back and forth out of Mason City, and he sets out cars at Iowa Falls for the Iowa Falls local to be able to pedal out to the customers or interchange with the CN. And a lot of times he does run around with standard cab EMD engines. So, let's see here. Oh, Darren can hear Noah. I can still hear Noah, yes.
That is, it's good to hear.
Yes. Oh, Patrick piped in. We have something lined through Belle Plaine. We'll have to check that out later. I did not get over to the Clinton sub ATCS, so let's just take a look and see what is going on there. Oh yeah, there's an eastbound lined up out of Marshalltown on Main 1, and there's a westbound that's crossing over at Blairstown from 1 to 2. So we'll be able to catch him at Belle Plaine here sometime in the near future. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen this BNSF train yet. When I was looking at the St. Croix sub, it seemed like he was practically right on top of us, and now we've not seen anything. It's a little bit disappointing. Where's my St. Croix sub go? I don't know.
After we take a look at the South Dubuque Junction cam, I have something interesting lined up from the CP's Dubuque Junction to the Washington cams that might be worth looking at here.
All right.
Ooh.
So we'll talk about this briefly as we're waiting for the BNSF to show up. We were, Noah and I were actually having a separate conversation last night about Guttenberg. This camera is going to be installed in Guttenberg tomorrow. And I figured out that I have a massive, like 7-foot tall antenna that I'm going to take to Guttenberg to mount at that location. And my hope is that we're going to pick up the CP off of, there's a tower in Guttenberg, but there's also 2 towers in Marquette, one for the Mason City sub and one for the Marquette sub. And my hope is that from Guttenberg we can pick up all of that. But then we were talking about listening to the BNSF on the Wisconsin side of the river as well. And Noah, I think in the end we landed on we're just going to program in the BNSF and see what we pick up. And you know, figure out if we'll listen to it for a couple of days and figure out if there's anything worthwhile to even monitor on that side of the river.
Because there's a radio tower in Cassville, I want to say, right?
Yeah, it's about 7 miles downstream from Guttenberg.
Yeah.
And then there's the defect detector that's at Glen Haven, which is about 3 or 4 miles to the west. Or to the north of Guttenberg. Yep.
Yep.
And let's see here. We have Amtrak pulling into Sedalia also. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and check out Amtrak here quick. Look at that. All right. What has Amtrak got leading today? We're going to back up. He's already done with the station stop.
I'll take a stab. A Charger?
You think so?
Wait, no. I'm going to put my vote in for a P42. Also, I'll be back in a second here. I'm going to move over to my computer.
All right. Well, here comes Amtrak charging into town.
Oh, looks like we got a Charger.
Does appear. Yep. He's got a Horizon coach, a couple of Amfleet coaches. This is the same consist we saw yesterday. A Horizon coach, 2 Amfleet coaches, another Horizon coach, and then the baggage cars on the rear. So yeah, this is the same train set that we saw going east. That was going east kind of late yesterday, and we caught him kind of in the middle of the program.
And what? Train.
Pretty sure I forgot to turn off the volume, but there goes that BNSF train on the other camera. Yeah, Amtrak is already on the move here. And then we'll switch back over to Trempealeau, because of course he showed up at the moment that Amtrak showed up also. Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. 25 people watching live right now. Appreciate everybody checking it out. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 baggage cars over there. Do you think that the number of passengers for 3 or 4 coaches could fill up 3 baggage cars? That would be pretty impressive. Alright, we're going to switch back over. And we have an ore train on the BNSF. So for those of you that go up and like to fan the Iron Range, this would be an ore train that originated somewhere up north on the BNSF. And here he is coming into view on the Trempealeau camera. And we literally just... Oh, here we go. He's got 2 on the head end. And he is cruising right through. Those are some BNSF system ore cars also. Or ore jennies as they're sometimes referred to. Different heights, different lengths. Just kind of a mishmash of equipment that they've got going on there. But yeah, this is a loaded ore train that's going to Chicago and to the steel mills, or even points east toward Pennsylvania. And sometimes the ore goes out east for export as well. Yeah, I see. We all got disconnected. I'm gonna have to get the call going again with Evan and Noah here. Let's see. Get this. And I am going to rejoin the group call so that we can get our guest hosts back online.
Oh, here we are.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, now we've got everybody back on.
Yeah, not too sure what happened. It just randomly said disconnected, so yeah.
I blame Evan. He's the one that got off the call in the first place. He probably screwed things up.
Evan's committed several
billion-dollar
travesties.
phone calling company.
Oh yeah. So looks like we got to look at that loaded taconite train, right?
Yes.
All right. If there's nothing else coming, we do have some things lined up here to take a look at. If you'd want to get started with that.
Well, let me just check and see. I saw that there was something close at Belle Plaine.
All right.
Let me just check and see. He was crossing over at Blairstown. And just taking a gander here at ATCS, it would appear he's probably still a little ways out from Belle Plaine. Let's go and check out the local power there in Dubuque.
That'd be at 8:39 on East Dubuque.
On the East Dubuque camera?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to jump back a little ways. It's 12:14. We need to go back just a hair over 4 hours. 8:39, you said? Let's see here.
Yes.
There's
Sorry,
7:58. 8:20. We're going to find this guy yet.
Oh yeah, could you restart your screen share?
Oh, do I have to restart the screen share too? I suppose I can do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Screen share. Yep. There we go.
Thank you.
Now everybody can see what I can see. Or at least everyone that's on the call with me can see what I can see. And we're looking for the CN Dubuque local. So again, kind of a operational note. The CN, along with their trackage rights into East Dubuque, they also have switching rights for the industries in East Dubuque as well. And so they send a local over every morning to switch customers over on the Illinois side of the river. And I think we found them.
Yes. Get ready for this.
So let's see what the CN has for switch engine power in Dubuque.
This is definitely going to be worth going out there over.
Yeah.
So we have a wide cab Jeep. Is that a Jeep 38 or Jeep 40?
That's a 40.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
a Grand Trunk, a standard cab Grand Trunk Jeep.
That is a lash up straight out of 2006.
Yes, it is.
And I think something worth noting is, I think, if I saw that correctly, that GT engine looked like it had remote control equipment on it, because it had the beacon light on the front, which is really odd, because we don't often get that kind of power out here. So, well, no, we get GT Jeeps a lot, but just not with the
Radio control.
Yeah, so that's worth noting too.
You know what radio control unit I would love to see come out here?
Oh, let me guess, the IC rebuilt, whatever they keep up in Canada.
No, 403.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think all of us can vouch.
Yeah, I think all of us can unanimously agree on that.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what 403 is, that is the last DM&IR painted tunnel motor that exists. Period.
Which is almost always held captive in Thunder Bay. Now, it did escape to the Duluth area for a little bit this year,
but for diagnostic things.
Yeah. So
it's the only reason it comes back to Proctor.
So, all right, this UP train should be showing up pretty quickly here. We'll watch the UP train, and then we'll switch over to another highlight that, Noah, you had a highlight that you wanted to share from early this morning as well.
I actually have several. So we have a few from Manly. Most of them are just average UP trains, but one of them is one that demonstrates the intermodal business that UP has drummed up in the Twin Cities, because it's a manifest that has some of that mixed in. And then we can also check out the Iowa Northern and Manly, because to my understanding, in past shows, we have not lucked out enough with getting them, but I have found when they went through. So if we want to take a look at that, we certainly can.
Yeah.
And then we'll hop over to the CP's camera in Dubuque and look at what comes by pretty early on in the morning. And then immediately after that, we're going to hop down to Washington and see the same train, but something different that they changed on it. That might be worth looking at.
Well, we have our UP train coming into view here at Belle Plaine.
All right.
And it looks for all the world like an empty coal train.
Yes, it does. Oh, is that a SD70 on that? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Second out. Yes. All right. Is this going to be a doubled up coal train or just a single?
Do they double up the empties?
Oh, yeah. They double up the empties more often than they double up the loads.
It's funny because just from what I've seen in person, I've seen way more doubled loads than I've just lucked out, but I've gotten way more double loads than empties.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's just that, doubling up the loads, doubling up the empties, I should say, creates a lot less tonnage than doubling up the loads. Yeah.
And what they've been doing recently, and at least from what I've noticed, they will sometimes double up the CP coal trains, the ones that go to I cannot remember the name of the plant up there in Wisconsin. Yeah, but they'll double it up with a coal train from somewhere else, and then once they get to Clinton, they'll split them and set the one for the Canadian Pacific out in the Comanche siding until they get a crew. So that's something I've noticed a few times this summer.
There's a defect detector going on. We still got a lot of train coming toward us. I think
Yes, we do.
I think we're definitely doubled up empties here. Because I don't even see the rear of the train yet.
It does look like WEPX ones, which I have seen doubled in the past, so it wouldn't necessarily surprise me.
Yeah. And what is the customer for WPEX or WEPX?
I think there's a number of them. Weston,
Electric?
I think Weston might be one of them. Don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong. And then I want to say there's a plant in the southeastern Wisconsin area that has it too, and it looks like we just got a standard empty coal train here because I don't see any doubling.
Well,
It
they
looks
might
like
have
we have a
taken the
DPU.
GPUs out of the middle.
Yeah.
And here's the rear pusher. All right, well, that, you know, the UP doesn't give us axle counts or train lengths, but that's something that would be nice in this instance, right? To be able to tell for sure.
Just from eyeballing it, I want to say that was like a, 90, 100 car train, something like that. Pretty, standard coal train stuff. But let's see here.
All right, let's jump over to Manly.
So, if we want to take a look at what is a good example of, actually, you know what? No. Let's go chronologically here. So, if you go to Manly at 1:58 this morning,
okay,
you can see a. Let me check. Just make sure this is the right train.
Wow, that water tower is lit up really nicely.
Yeah, it is.
Not 1:58. I'm sorry. I believe 3:02 is actually what we're after here.
Oh, all right.
Yep. So if you go to 3:02, this is the standard Iowa Northern train that goes between Manly and I believe Butler at Shell Rock, Iowa.
Yeah, this is so what you're gonna see here is you got those headlights off on the side because the Iowa Northern has to get on a hand throw switch that's by that furthest section of the elevator. And then they pull down over these two crossings, and then there's another hand throw switch that's just to the left of the signal box that is by the crossing closer to the camera. And we're going to see them actually pull down. And they've got a little Kubota that the guy is walking here. But sometimes they have a little Kubota that they run around back and forth to throw the switches with.
I have seen that.
Yeah, you can see the conductor walking across the crossing there, over toward the second switch. And then they have to line both those switches back behind them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I see container traffic on the UP going by, for instance, Mills Tower, a lot of times I think of that as being potential interchange traffic with the Iowa Northern for their reload terminal that they have at Shell Rock.
Yeah. And the best way, kind of the rule of thumb to figure out, well, it's not necessarily a guarantee that it's going to the Iowa Northern, but if you want a pretty solid bet, look for the 40-foot maritime containers, not the domestic stuff. Because from what I've seen, it seems like Iowa Northern's really kind of tapped into the sea container business. I have not seen. It might have happened by now. I'm not sure, but I've not seen any 53-foot domestic containers on any pictures I've seen just yet. So it's worth noting.
Yeah. So we have a Jeep. We have two slugs. We might put Jeep two slugs.
Looks like another G40.
Right, another Jeep.
Yep.
Yeah, that power set has been the same for like a long time.
Yeah.
There's the two Jeeps together with the two slugs, and then the other Jeep runs around with another slug and whatever else with it.
Mm-hmm. That'll happen sometimes. I mean, down here in Cedar Rapids, we'll get, some days for an entire week, every time the consist will be completely different. But then some weeks it'll be just the same two F40 rebuilds or the same two Jeep 40s. It just depends. It really just depends.
But who cares? Because it runs in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, you know, if they run late enough and it's a cloudy day, it's worth trying to get some moody shots of. Now, if we want to move ahead to where the UP shows up, I believe we're looking at a 10:40. Let me check to make sure that's the right timestamp here.
Is that the Iowa Northern's got a pretty decent sized train?
No. I'm glad I checked because the timestamp I'm actually looking for, I believe, is 8:12. Let's see.
Well, let's see what we got. 8:12, you said?
Yep, 8:12 this morning. We got a southbound, pretty average UP consist, but again, it's just nice. If you fast forward a little bit to some of the loads in the train, you can see just how UP is moving domestic containers in and out of St. Paul.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is just a regular manifest train.
Correct.
They got loads of scrap down there, and a bunch of
There it
coffers.
is.
You got one little container car.
Yep. And what's funny is later on in the train, there's another much larger cut of intermodal. So I don't know why they did that, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, or,
If you
somebody
ran a-
just screwed up when they were blocking the train. There's a
It's
lot of
possible.
and there's, all right, so yesterday we were talking about these EMP containers.
Oh yeah.
So that was an example of one. No, I don't know if we were on here yesterday, but I was talking to Patrick about this. That UP actually manages the pool for the EMP containers.
Yep.
And they
And,
kicked the Canadian Pacific out of the pool for EMP containers, for interchangeable.
I would be lying if I said I was surprised by that.
Exactly.
Because
Yes. That was definitely feels like screw you guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And there's UP manages other pools like that too. Like they have I don't remember the name of it, but it's actually right there, whatever that dark blue one is.
Pacers
you
Snack
manage.
Train, yes.
No, the dark blue one that's underneath the white container. They that's
okay.
that's jointly run with, I believe, CSX, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
So they do have, there are other agreements out there like that. Like there's one that I can't remember the name of it, but there's another like 2 to 3 letter abbreviation container that runs between KCS, NS, and I want to say someone else, but I can't remember who that would be. But yeah, there's a lot of the class ones have a lot of joint pool domestic traffic. So it's kind of interesting. You can watch it. I mean, it's a good way to tell what railroad you're looking at. Like, if you see just a random clip of, here's this intermodal train going by. Okay, well, I'm recognizing, okay, there's a few from UP, a few from CSX. This is probably one of their trains, not like a BNSF Schneider JB Hunt train, right? So it's definitely interesting to kind of take note of that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jacob Hildreth just sent in a message. He was the conductor when we were watching it walk across the street there on the Iowa Northern this morning. And we also had a note about those WPEX empties that we saw in the UP. Those are from Sheboygan, and it says they get doubled up at Oak Creek and then sent back to Colorado that way.
All right.
There's some potash cars. We might have even seen the UP. I mean, they're doing interchange traffic with the Iowa Northern with these potash cars. We know that.
Yeah.
But some of those may be destined for Fort Knox as well.
Well, the fact these ones are heading south, in my opinion, would kind of imply that they probably are Fort Dodge ones, right? Because I know way back in the day, it's been a few years to my, someone correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it's been a few years, but UP used to actually send unit potash trains down the Iowa Northern all the way to Armour in the Raymond Waterloo area. It's been a long time since they've, again, probably like 2018, 2017 was the last picture I saw of one, but yeah, those were, like they'd use mainline power and everything for them, so very different from how they do it now. They seem to just use blocks of, just in the regular Iowa Northern trains, so kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, let's see here. We're gonna jump around a little more here. We actually have 2 more trains coming up to Belle Plaine now. We have another one coming up eastbound and another one coming up westbound. And there's an eastbound lined up, or excuse me, a westbound lined up at Grand Mound as well. So we've got some more traffic out in that area. Let's see here. We have not checked in on Carroll in a while. Should we?
No, we haven't. Yeah.
Shall we pull up Carroll and see? Because I'm sure we're not going to have to go too far to find traffic there at Carroll.
And while you're looking at that, I'll graze back here and see if I can find anything that's interesting. Oh, speaking of not having to go back far, I mean, literally go back about 7 minutes and there's a train right there.
Okay. Well, there it is. Look at that. Let's see what we've got blasting through Carroll. Got high greens on both mains. I believe he's on the... Yeah, here he comes. On the inside track, running wrong main via the CNW. And, more UP manifest traffic. Hoppers, empty bulkhead
center beams up
flats.
front.
So Carroll at... Well, looks like we got an eastbound coal train at about 12:17 as well. So pretty decent traffic so far.
Yeah, some coil cars, refrigerated box cars. So, as we're looking at this, one of the things I do want to talk about briefly, we had touched on Guttenberg very briefly, and I am going to pull up a Google Maps view of where the webcam is going to go into Guttenberg to give people an idea of what we're going to be doing there. I'm going to pull the Cedar Falls or the Waterloo sub ATCS up as well to look and see. Now we don't really have nothing interesting there yet anyway. While this guy is going by, I'm going to pull up the Google Maps view, and I want to be able to give people a little bit of a preview of what our vantage point is going to be in Guttenberg. So the city of Guttenberg has been gracious enough to allow us to place a webcam on their city shops. And all right, so I've got it pulled up now. I'll definitely bring this over when the time comes. As we see, just more and more UP manifest going by. Westbound train. There's one of those goofy, newer-looking coil cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you
They
want
really
to talk,
are kind of bizarre looking.
oh yeah, and if you want to talk about a bizarre-looking coil car, I mean that southbound manifest through Manly, the one that presumably came from South St. Paul, that one had probably the most bizarre-looking coil car that's out there running on the rails these days. Not saying we have to go back to it, but it is just, it's really weird-looking. Unless, maybe we'll see one of those on this train, and I will definitely point it out if I see it.
Sure. Empty lumber cars, bulkhead flats going back west.
Sure.
out to Oregon or Washington to get loaded up.
Oh, and there we go.
That is the rear. All right.
And it has been brought up by an
I'm going to
EOT.
pull over. So this is the Guttenberg City Shops. This is the building that the camera is going to be mounted on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this way and move down here just a little bit. This is the actual vantage point that the camera is going to be giving us. So this is looking north or northwest, I suppose. So a train that would be coming toward us in this viewpoint would be leaving Marquette and heading toward Dubuque.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is looking toward Marquette, and this way would be looking toward Dubuque. And the camera is going to go up here in this lower right corner underneath the eave of this building.
Oh, that's going to be a great view.
Yeah. So, of course, you know, as I do that, I say there's a pole right here, right? That's what we're going to be looking at. But it's got a light on it. So we should actually, hopefully, have some decent lighting at night as well.
No, if anything, I think that helps it. And I mean, one pole isn't going to stop us from seeing the train. We're going to get
Exactly.
I mean, the fact we're that close is just, in my opinion, fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be a great viewpoint. I'm really, really happy with that. And then we're also going to have an Ottumwa webcam, which I'm putting in next Wednesday. And I'm not going to be able to give you a great facsimile of that vantage point. I'm probably going to be better off with a top-down view of it. But the guy's name is John Tauschen. He used to be a track inspector for the Milwaukee Road out of Ottumwa. And he is allowing us to put a webcam on his building in downtown Ottumwa.
All right.
So
Nice.
I'm going to pull this over now so that you can see this Main Street Donuts is his business. And then this longer building that's just below Main Street buildings, just to the south of it, is also his business, his building. And this short section of stub track that's to the left of the building, that's actually filled up now with like 4 cabooses. And
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to have a webcam there. It's going to be looking toward McLean Street. And we're going to be, I think, about 4 blocks down because the diamonds with the CP are over here.
All right.
So you're not going to be able to see the diamond very well, but you are going to be able to see the trains on the BNSF side will be easy to see.
Yeah.
And we're going to put in an ATCS server so you'll be able to pick up the 2 control points that are in the valley there in Ottumwa.
And I'm sure you're also going to have the CP frequency and on the scanner you install there, correct?
Yeah, the scanner there will cover the BN and the CP. That's right.
Yeah. So even if we won't see the CP, we will still have an idea of what's going through. So that's very
You're
good.
still going to hear them writing track warrants. You're going to hear them leaving and arriving at the yard. Yes, that's all correct.
Now, if you want to see something that's moving, I think we have, looks like we have an eastbound that just hit the crossovers at West Bell Plains. So that should be coming through either now or in like a couple minutes.
Yeah, let's switch back right over there. And we will turn that on, make sure we're live, which we are. So, while we're waiting for this to show up, you know, yesterday we were discussing the differences between having webcams and having ATCS servers. So, Noah, do you want to share your theory on this a little bit that you shared with me last night?
Well, I guess the main thing that I like that, you know, differentiates the webcams from ATCS is I guess the utility factor of it, because you can see with a lot of these, you can see road numbers, you can see how fast they're going, which how fast they're going is, you can sometimes determine that on ATCS, don't get me wrong, but say the train is stopped switching out a little spur that just is not dispatcher controlled. All you're going to see on the board there is just the train sitting, and you will have no idea, you know, what they're doing, what train it is. Now, if you're a little well-versed in the line, you might figure it out over time, but the webcam just helps make that so much easier. There's no, you know, second guessing it. You can just see what's coming, when it's coming, and you know, if it's even worth going out for, because in a lot of cases, you know, a lot of people just don't have a lot of time to sit trackside. So if you see a good train that's coming and you have the time to go for it quickly, webcams, I would say, have enabled that in the eastern part of the state, because beforehand we really didn't have a way of you know, knowing this stuff. So that's what I really like about the webcams personally. It's not necessarily an ATCS replacement. Now, in the case of the Clinton sub, it kind of is going to be, but in other places, it almost it kind of elevates it.
He's almost right on top of the crossing here.
Oh, there we go. And I don't know if ATCS is being a little bit laggy here, but it looks like we might have another eastbound right behind this guy. Could be wrong, but oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, there's a lot of power on this. Wow, okay. So we got a eastbound intermodal here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this isn't going to be, if this isn't going to have some of the trailer traffic on the rear end.
It very well might. I mean, we've already got just a ton of these, you know, single containers on the spine cars, so we might have some trailers coming up here.
We had a question here about a camera in Mexico. I'll tell you, I do not have any plans to do any cameras internationally at this time.
Well, Tom, why not a camera 2 miles from the Canadian border on the northwestern quarter of the country?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rule anything out, but I don't see international cameras happening anytime soon.
Yeah, that's
that is completely understandable. I have once this train's going by, I just found a very interesting train that went through East Dubuque here this morning.
All right.
Okay.
At 9:21:15.
This guy is dragging down. Look at this. He must only have one motor online.
Isn't there?
There's a permanent speed restriction through Belle Plaine, so that could be what we're looking at.
40.
This
He's
is
going way
slow.
less than 40.
Yeah.
This is not the permanent speed restriction. This is him dragging down as he gets further into the hill.
He's yeah, I guess they really must not have had too many of those engines online. That, or we're just looking at a ridiculously long train, which so far I'm starting to think this might not be a Z train, because you think by now we would have seen some trailer traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's also a rule. Oh, speak of the devil.
Okay, maybe we'll get some here.
There's some spine
Those
cars
aren't trailers.
Oh, and there are those trailers, those UMAX ones. Those are the ones that I believe are jointly operated between CSX and UP.
Yeah. And we saw some CSX containers earlier in this train as well.
Yep.
And then there's green ones that have got the red lettering on the side.
Yep, Hub Group.
Yeah.
So those, I believe, are run jointly between NS, UP. Oh, and there we go. And then I think also maybe I want to say KCS, but I could be wrong on that one as well. I've seen them on the CN.
KCS is kicked out of that pool now too.
Yeah. Well. So, yeah, looks like we do have another eastbound coming into Belle Plaine at some point. Not just yet.
Yep, and there's a westbound coming up as well.
Yep, that one just went through West Blairstown, so it should be on us, within the next. I don't know.
While we're waiting for that to show up, we're gonna check this out.
Oh. Now this.
Let's go back. We're gonna back this up just a hair. full effect. See the gates coming down. Yeah, this guy finally showed up at Grand Mound. And I think that we're going to see a meet here at Grand Mound, actually.
I think you might be right. I see that eastbound that's just about to hit the crossovers.
Yep. So, plenty of train traffic today. I'm telling you, somebody needs to be keeping a tally of how many trains we see in one day, because this is really... Oh, hey! Alright, this was my mistake. He was asking about Mexico, Missouri.
Oh.
I apologize. That was totally my mistake. When you said Mexico, I was like, oh, Mexico, okay, well, let's put a webcam in Mexico, sure. But now, he was talking about where the KCS crosses the BNSF, or is
no,
that
that's the NS. Yeah, that's the Wabash.
At Mexico, Missouri. All right, here it comes. And we have an EMP leader.
Yep. An Ace.
9000s.
AC-44 and
one of those
a notch nose 70M.
Yeah, a lot of
not
those
on the point, but oh well.
A lot of those just came out of storage just earlier this summer.
Good. I really hope to see some of those.
Look at this one single gray well car. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah, I think
those are brand new AOKs.
They're AOKs, and then I think are some of the Grupo Mexico Ferromex well cars, are some of those gray too? If I'm not mistaken.
They may
think
be, yeah.
so. I think so. It might be. I don't know if it's like primer or they're just bored.
That would be kind of. I mean, I would assume it's to reflect their their new kind of gray theme they're using with the new paint scheme down there. But
yeah.
Hey, well, you know what? If we ever want to see one of those, all we have to do is go international. You know.
Right.
No, this looks like a pretty decent sized domestic intermodal train, at least so far. You never know, because a lot of times with these, UP will halfway through it'll switch over to a maritime train. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us what do you look for when you see the difference between domestic trailers and maritime trailers?
If you can read the words confidently, they're probably domestic. But another thing is they're 53 foot, so they're the longer ones. So what we're seeing here, these are all 53 foot containers, and a lot of them are joint pool carriers, like we said, between UP, CSX, BNSF, NS, whoever. There's a lot of different pools happening all at once, so you can really, once you start looking at a lot of these intermodal trains and these different railroads, you can actually pretty quickly start to figure out what's coming from where and who's running the train at the time. Because, you can see, say, Schneider on CSX, but you can also see it on BNSF. And you can see JB Hunt on NS, but you don't really see Schneider. Oh, there's our meet. Wow, all right. Wow, and looks like we got Tier 4 Ace there.
Oh, that's cool.
And we had a few trailers container trailers, I guess you could say, on this train here, but it doesn't look like we have any just pure, semi-trailers just yet.
I think these might be trailers.
No, I'm still seeing some of also like the coloration on them. Like, okay, you got the green ones.
They do look like containers. I know they're probably containers with things on them, but
now there's a trailer.
Know.
There's a trailer.
Yeah, there's some
an
of those
Amazon
XPO logistics containers for sure. Trailers. Yeah.
Of course, the one time they start going by the cam, we got
yeah.
So.
Right.
No kidding.
Now we might actually get a chance to see these ones, because these definitely look like trailers to me. Yes, they are.
Yep.
No.
And now we got the giant reefer in the way.
Yep.
Another one. All right.
There's some UPS trailers too.
Pretty decent sized train for this intermodal. Normally they're a little bit, with the trailers, you can see them a little shorter than this, but this is a pretty decent one. And look, we're going back to double stacks again. So yeah, there's a lot of this is all domestic stuff we've seen on this train so far. So maybe hopefully before the program ends, we might get a chance to see a train with some 40-foot trailers to or containers, to give an example here. Look at that.
That was
Look
a
at
cool hopper.
Old UP Bethgon or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Single coal hopper in the middle
Loaded.
of the manifest.
Those are cool. I always wonder, like, you know, where do they just come from some random coal loadout in like Utah or the middle of Colorado? Who knows?
Like,
Because
probably.
with those older ones, a lot of times it is it's either reclaimed stuff or it's things that come off just single coal loadouts in the middle of nowhere that, you know, don't often get unit trains, at least not much anymore. So it's kind of interesting to see those.
Sometimes it's different grades of coal too, like the beautiful
Oh yeah.
coal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely, and sometimes, you know, like if you see those every once in a while. Ooh, look at that. Look at those.
Gondola connect. Or
I
whatever?
forget. I cannot remember what those.
Connection.
It's the. I think those are the. That one car company that SP ran for a while, right? The Golden.
Golden
You know what I'm talking about.
West Service.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what those gondolas were, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
It looked like it for a second. Never seen those before, but no, you know, every once in a while you'll see like Reading and Blue Mountain poppers coming through here, and I think those usually are carrying like anthracite, right? So you talk about
Yes.
different grades of coal. There you go. And a lot of all these gondolas are covered, so you have
Those
to
are
wonder
coil
what they're
cars. Those are steel
carrying in
coil
there.
cars that are converted, and they fit them with
Oh.
lids.
Lids to hold them.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you look inside of those,
interesting.
you look inside of those gons, they're gonna have giant wood blocks to hold the steel coil in place from rolling around.
Oh, sure.
Yep. But those are gons that are converted into coil service.
Hmm.
So we've got
Once again, we got
a DPU
another
right next to
box
some
of train.
hazmat there in the rear of the
Oh, there we
train.
go. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I hope there's no hobo riding in it.
Right. Now we've got a bunch of UP system hoppers coming up. Or at least a few anyway. There was a Katie Gon, MKT.
And
Oh, there's a square coil car. Is that what you were talking about before? Those square coil cars?
Oh yeah.
no, the ones I'm talking about are even stranger looking than that, believe it or not.
Well, that was pretty
And if we
cool
don't
looking.
see one, oh, it is. I'm not denying that. But if we don't end up seeing one here today, I'll send you a message just to show you what I'm talking about. It is very strange looking.
There's a stake car. That's probably that could have been for telephone pole loading. That
Yeah.
bulkhead flat with stakes on the side.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Bright
look, one of those
yellow.
new UP box cars. That's brand new and it's already graffitied up. But you see why they put the reporting marks for it so high up, right? It's so they don't get it. It's so they don't get it graffitied right away.
Yeah.
Are those brand new built? Do you know? Or are those
I
old?
I think they're new builds from
Look
what
at
I
all these
really?
skate
understand.
guys. Look
I'm
at all
pretty
these
sure
skate
they are.
cars that are going by now. This string of CN.
Wow,
What?
Yeah.
that's cool.
Those have
EWC.
got to be for
Interesting.
interchange to go back up.
You'd think so, huh? Look at all these white, kind of small tank cars too.
Yeah. Sometimes you can tell that there's a single load of coal.
Yeah. Wow, this is just another
Train
massive
really
manifest.
long.
Yes. The never-ending 15,000 foot manifest. Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine being a normal person getting held up by this, and then it's just over the past year, trains have just become so unbelievably long
Yeah.
and take forever to pass.
So after we watch this, Tyler actually sent me a highlight to watch off of the manual.
I think.
Wait, do we have another one?
All right. And I think if I remember correctly, I think at some point Evan said he had something to show us too.
I was about to say, are we gonna?
Yeah, let's do that because there should be. My board's being a little strange here, but I think we might have another eastbound coming as well. Yeah, there's an eastbound that's not yet hit the crossovers now Beltline, but it is getting pretty decently busy. Oh, we've got. What's that?
Is that a fresh?
The screen share is a little bit
the screen share is literally a slideshow for me.
But I do have the live stream up on my phone muted, so I'll take a look at what we actually just saw there. Looks like we have. Yeah, so fairly recently repainted UPGvo. That still has the wings on the front though, and then one of those CN sticker engines second out.
Oh yeah, like the tribal stickers. Or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know the exact purpose of them. Or which one it is, because I know there's a couple. There's the ones for what you just mentioned, and then there's another one of those every child matters ones that CN has. So I'm not sure which of those this is, because I think the one that aforementioned child matters one, I think those were orangish, and this one on the highlight it almost looks a little bit orange. So this might have been it, but I cannot quite tell. No, but Evan, didn't you say you had you had some highlight to show as well? Like besides this manly one. All right.
I've got. I think it's a manifest, but it has a cool leader. I'll keep it a surprise.
All right. I'm going to switch over to Tyler's highlight that he sent me here quick. Let's see.
All right.
Gotta pull this over. Let's see what he sent me. This is a time lapse that he sent me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
This is from sunset last night, actually. Just a beautiful sunset over here at Manly.
Definitely.
So for those of you that are meteorologically inclined, we have a meteorologically, however you want to say it. Yes, we have a sunset here to share with you, and clouds building in as the sun slowly disappears over the horizon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you're, in an open field north or south of town, and you're getting like a nice silhouette shot of a train going by. That's
what you want.
Last
hard
night.
To beat that.
All right.
What was the other night? We had some lightning over Cedar Rapids.
Oh yeah.
I was dying. I was like, why is there? I really wish there was a J38 sitting in the yard right now.
Right. Okay. Where was your highlight at there, Evan?
East Dubuque at 9:21:20.
All right. Let's go ahead.
9:21, probably.
It's
right on top.
Yeah, we're already live here. 9:21 this morning.
Oh, it was a stack train. So that thing probably led across the country.
That was, there's our CN local again.
Yeah, I unfortunately cannot see that until after I come back from the range later this month. So
let's hope it stays here for a while.
Next trip to the range. All right, let's see. what we got
I'm going
here.
to the range again.
We've got eastbound approaching the camera. Can hear him whistling through downtown Dubuque.
Oh yeah. Now that horn sounds a little bit like, if I'm not mistaken.
Like what?
Maybe like a either. Oh, Well, I was gonna say an H1, but you know what? That works too.
Yeah.
That works too. Nice.
So there's some.
Yeah,
FedEx
so that's
Express,
a stack
JB
train.
Hunt.
So whatever.
So yeah, we were talking about
That
how
thing
the,
probably led a very good distance.
Oh yeah. We were talking about the different contracts that the carriers have, and you know, BNSF really has kind of cornered the market on JB Hunt and Schneider traffic. You don't really see it anywhere else, at least out this way.
Although, at least within the past year, UP has been stealing a lot of that Schneider contract back to their rails, because they used to have it, like, you know, 2004, 5, a long time ago. But if you look at some of the UP stack trains now, we're starting to see some of those showing up. Now, here's a great example of a 40-foot against a 53-foot. That Yang Ming under the JB Hunt, that was a perfect example to show just like the different size and, in fact, even just the different language. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, there you go. Perfect example.
Yeah, so those 40-foot are the international shipping trailers that get loaded on boats.
Yep. Let's see.
And then you have the 53
And after this one, yeah, it's a really cool look just to see the overhang. It's a little, you know, especially just in person, it's interesting to just look up and like, oh, well, there you go. Oh, and look, now we got some UPS.
We got a note in here that it was every Child Matters unit was second out on that westbound.
Oh, so it was the orange sticker one. Okay, yeah, I thought that's what I saw, but it was, you know, a little bit hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, somebody may have gone back and seen it off of the Grand Mount camera also. So this is what this is what BNSF calls a mail train with all those UPS and FedEx containers in it.
Right.
But all right, so we are at 1:02. We're gonna sign off for the day. But thank you, Evan and Noah, for joining me today, and thank you to the 45 people that were logged in watching this with us live. And you know, make sure and keep telling people about the program. Make sure and obviously subscribe to the channel. Check out steel-highway.com. Subscribe to the magazine if that's something that you're into. And just make sure and keep telling people about what we're doing here. Keep building the audience, because we're really excited. This is I really enjoy providing this kind of content. So it's going to be time for us to sign off today.
All right.
Ready. Everyone have a great day.
Yep, we will be back on
and
Friday.
Be productive.